Good morning! So recently I've been restoring this fence line that crosses my land. Now when I started restoring this, the fence line was down, it was completely covered by leaves in some places, and it was completely overgrown with holly as well. So I've worked my way through, I've been clearing the holly, I've been standing the fence line back up and putting new posts in, and as you can see it's revealed this fantastic path. Now it's clearly man-made because you've got this nice level path and then a steep drop off. So that's not a natural feature of the landscape. I have no idea when it was put in, why it was put in, or where it goes. So the plan for today is, as you can see, my blue bucket down there in the distance, that is how far I've got along this path. I don't actually know entirely where it ends. I think I know where it ends. But yeah, the plan for today is to carry on clearing and see how far I can get. Now I'm hoping by the end of the weekend to have reached the end of the path. However, my body is currently telling me, no, I should be going inside and resting because I am worn out. However, my brain is going, it's dry, get out here and do something while you can. So, yeah, we'll see how I can get on. But yeah, let's start clearing. Right, well I hope you're actually able to see what I was doing there. I know there was a small holly in the way, but I was trying desperately hard not to knock you over as I dragged branches through, whilst I was trying to not get myself caught on the barbed wire fence here that I was climbing over, and also trying not to squash all the daffodils here. So there's absolutely masses of daffodils coming up in the path here. I will have to move those in the future, but for now I just want them to come up so I know where they are, so I don't really want to be damaging them and snapping the tops off. But we're past that section now, and there doesn't appear to be any daffodils here, so this should be a bit easier. But we're onto a large laurel that is in the middle of the path. So in the past I've been winching those out, I've been tying a rope to them and using a little hand winch. Now I'm still going to be using the same winch, but I have brought these, which are fabric straps. Now I used to help at a nature reserve and we used to use these to winch out gorse. I'm hoping that this will give a better grip on the tree and won't slip like the rope that I've been using. It should also be a bit stronger than the rope that I've been using. So I'll get the winch over and I'll go through how to attach those to the tree. Now for this end, this is obviously the end that I want to winch out. So I've trimmed off some side branches so I've got access, but I've left them long because it's surprising that little twig might actually stop anything from sliding up. I've also cut the top of it out, so obviously as you winch the tree over, it leans towards you and the top of it's going to hit me, so that just makes it a little bit easier. Now with the straps, it is literally a fabric ring, so they've got the tag on the middle there to show that they've been load tested. I tried to keep that in the middle just because it makes it a little bit easier to work with. But you want to literally wrap it around the tree like that and feed it through itself. So that is now locked tight. You want to have it pointing away from where your winch is. So the winch is going to be over there, loops over here, so that way when you pull it around like that, that's only going to pull tighter, it's not going to get looser. Now let's have a quick look at the other end. Now this is a much larger strap because I'm thinking the tree I'm going to be winching from is much larger, so I've brought a larger strap for that. Now there's two ways you can attach this. You can either go round the tree like that and just clip the two of these together in the winch, and that'll be perfectly fine because you don't want it to grip on this tree necessarily. Or you can do the same as the other end and feed it through itself like that, which is what I'm going to do, but that is purely because my winch doesn't have a long reach and it only just about hooks on. So now that's secure, the other end is secure, we can set the winch into winch mode and start winching. Well, that is doing fantastic. You can see it's pulling it straight out the hole. It's not slipping at all, but I've run out of length of cable there, so I'm going to change the configuration around the tree to the other type just so I've got that little bit more length, and then hopefully that will pull this straight out. Well, there we go, that worked beautifully. Now unfortunately it did bend the bottom of the fence up here because it was growing through the fence, but I've managed to free the fence from the laurel. So yeah, I'll get this out of the way and then I can carry on with those bits. Well, there we go, that's not bad. 1 hour in and I managed to clear this entire section. So if I do another hour, I reckon I can probably get the same amount of area cleared, and I think I'll be right close to the end by then. Well, would you believe it? 10 minutes and we're through. So we have officially reached the end of the path. So I've still got this long branch here to deal with, but you can see the path there sloping down onto the field section. That is clearly the end of the path. So that is absolutely excellent. The thing is, it's not the end of the fence. The fence itself carries on just that little bit further through this section of laurels. So I do want to take all these laurels out, but I'm thinking I've got a lot of tidying up to do because I've got all those piles of holly that I've chucked down the bank there that I need to deal with. So I'm going to do those off camera, and then I think I'll deal with this section tomorrow. So see you in a bit. Okay, well that's everything cleared from yesterday. So I'm turning my attention to this area now. Now I do want to do this small section here. I've got hollies and laurel in here that I want to get rid of. Mainly because I think this is a hawthorn here and I want to give that more space. But that is off the path, so I'm not too worried about that for the moment. My main thing is getting the fence line back up. So obviously I'm going to have to clear all this lot to get the fence line back up because that's growing on the fence. I'll also clear a little bit of this area here too because there's hollies and laurels in here that want to come out. But my anchor point, I'm going to use that big tree there. So I'm thinking I might as well give myself a bit more space to work as well. So right, let's get started. Okay, well it took me an hour and a half to clear that lot, and I'm on to the last one now. But of course this is the biggest one and the one that's going to cause me the most problems. So, I've changed where I've anchored to, so I'm on a holly tree there now. So hopefully that will be strong enough, because it is a large tree, but it's also a dead tree, so we'll see how it goes. But that meant I could just use the straps. I didn't have any of the blue rope in the middle of the winch. The other thing I'm going to have to do is this branch that comes down separately at the back here. I'll have to cut that off because that might have rooted to the floor. I'll also be taking the top out because obviously, like I said earlier, I don't want it falling on me. But yeah, that is quite a big one. So yeah, let's see how we do. Well, there we go. Took no time at all. I managed to get that massive great big stump out. And I did do a little bit of damage to the fence. I have no idea what state that is in now because I've had 3 laurels dragged through it. But yeah, I've got a lot of tidying up to do. So that's what I'm going to spend the afternoon doing. Same as yesterday. I'll do that off camera and then I'll pick it up again when I come to stand the fence up. So see you in a bit. Right, well, I've finished tidying up again. So let's get this fence up and out of the leaves. Well, that is the fence line back up and in position, so now I know exactly where the fence goes. I can work out how many posts I'm going to need. Now, the fence line itself, it disappears off into the laurels there underneath the power lines. Now, I did expect that because the section under the laurels there I did find earlier in the year. Thing is, I'm going to remove that section from over there because I don't really want it going under the power lines. I did do that further down the hill. The section that went across I took out and I ran from the shed up just in front of the dead hedge there. So I know it's possible to move it, so I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll carry on from that section there. So I'll have a gate down there, and then I'll carry on up to here, do a 90-degree corner there, and then come off over this way. So I've got to work out for a gate there, and then something to do a 90-degree corner there to make sure that's nice and strong. I'm also thinking I might put a gate in here, because there's some interesting features in the land up there that would be nice to be able to access. So I'll probably clear a path up through here, and then be able to get up to those. And then as we work our way along here, I'm thinking it might also be nice to have another rain shelter, because down there you might be able to see the corrugated metal. That's a little rain shelter. I called it the bus stop. So that is absolutely brilliant. If you're up in the garden, you just want to sit and have your lunch, have a cup of tea, especially when it's a bit drizzly, it's really nice sitting in there. So I'm thinking possibly around here, because we've got the big oaks there, but in the middle it's just a few hollies, or possibly in this section a little bit further down, just dance through the daffodils. There we go, this section here, that's even clearer still, so that might be a better place here. Then you can sit up here, have a cup of tea and have a lovely view. So I'd love to know how long this path is. I am thinking of making one of those little ticky meter wheel things to count how many meters it is. But for now, I'm going to end this video here. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to go and cook some sausages on that fire, and I shall see you later. Sausages just get a wonderful smoky flavour that you just don't get in the kitchen when you cook them on an outside fire. But I will say, the low-fat sausages I got here are absolutely rubbish for a barbecue, because there's no fat inside them to cook them. Oh well, either that or I just need more practice cooking sausages outside.